Have you seen the weird parts of JavaScript? It's full of them. So before we get into Google's web sabotage, let's remind ourselves, because some of them are actually pretty funny. And stick with me, this is all relevant. You've got things like the fact that null, despite its very definition being the absence of a meaningful value, is actually an object. Even weirder, NaN, believe it or not, is not a number. It is a number? What about the way that JavaScript tries to do you a favor when you use double equals? Like when your code is something like string1 equals number1, it goes, okay, you gave me a string and a number, but I know what you really mean. And it tells you, of course they're equal. Or when you ask JavaScript to add number 5 plus string 5, and instead of going, sorry pal, you can't do that, it says, sure, I can do that. It's 55, obviously. Speaking of how JavaScript adds things, we can't forget the most egregious one. 0.1 plus 0.1 is equal to 0.2, of course. But what does 0.1 and 0.2 equal? It's not 0.3, it's this. What's my point here? It's that JavaScript is kind of broken, and it has been from the start. But you can't fix any of it, not directly anyway, because doing so would change JavaScript and break potentially millions of apps and websites that expect the weird parts to stay weird. Which brings us how to Google have broken the internet. They shipped a version of Chrome recently that completely removes support for JavaScript dialogues like confirm, prompt, and alert from cross-origin iframes. I was first alerted to this issue by a tweet from Chris Coyer that prompted me to read an article he had published on CSS tricks. And I can confirm Chris is not happy. All three of those puns were deliberate and bad. CodePen.io, the popular online dev environment that Chris runs, uses cross-origin iframes for every single one of its pens. So you can imagine what this means for them. Anyone that uses any of those dialog methods in their code on CodePen has all of a sudden discovered that their code is broken. Now I get it. Google hasn't broken the internet. These dialogues all still work everywhere else. You could argue they're also clunky user experiences, and browsers drop support for features all the time, right? The reason that they did this is legit. It means that cross-origin iframes can't trigger dishonest alerts, pretending to be from the parent side and potentially spoofing you into something malicious. But dropping support for this is a pretty big move, and it'll potentially break more than just people's code on CodePen. For now, following some blowback, they've suspended this move for about 6 months, but it still appears to be on the roadmap. So watch this space. And if you are using iframes, maybe have a look to see if you're using alert, confirm, or prompt, and start thinking about how you're going to replace those. Thanks for watching. If you found this video useful, subscribe and like the video, and I'll see you in the next video.